What's going on, guys? How you guys doing today? Hopefully the sound is good. I made some adjustments, but hoping it's good, not bad. I guess we'll find out. Sounded good to me. So what's up? What are you guys up to? Having all the fun? Hopefully. Hopefully. Ooh, maybe the music is a tad loud. I don't know. It's hard to tell. We could probably do that number. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Anyway. What's up, Image? What are you up to? Doing anything fun? I'm pretty good, TSC. I'm pretty good. So today we're gonna build something fun. Oh, actually, I got like a little something fun to chat about for a second. I don't want to dox myself, so nothing crazy. I swear I'm collecting these little kits. Nice. I feel you. Just got done with some work stuff. So yeah, props to the Keyhive guys. Oh well, you guys can't see that. I love how Keyhive sends things in like a gallon Ziploc bag. It's funny. Anyway, so I got a little milk going on. Oh, I had a little milk. I dropped it. I spilled it all over the floor. Yeah, so got that little doodad. I spilled the milk. Well, it's still closed, so it's not spilled milk. Anyway, it has this wee bitty baby PCB. That's not a controller. That's the 2% milk PCB, which funnily enough supports RGB. No RGB LED slots, but some through holes for the connector type. Pretty cool. Racing Giraffe, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah, so we're not gonna build that today. I don't know what we're gonna do with this, but I like it. It's a nice little 3D printed case, honestly. I'm actually surprised. The quality is like really, really good. Yeah, it is, Brainstorm. I agree. So I think they're still available on Keyhive. I'm not 100% sure, but it's worth checking out. No affiliation or anything with these guys, but I like their stuff, right? You get other stuff there, right? Like BDN9. That might have been not Keyhive. That might have been Kibio. Either way, Kibio and Keyhive are really like the places to go get that kind of stuff. And of course I got a Pro Micro, though I did recently order some Elite C's. So we'll do something, probably make this an Elite C type thing, because it'll be a little 2-switch macro pad. Funny enough, this PCB has the cutouts, or has the through hole areas for Alps, as you can see there. Why didn't they offer it with an Alps plate? Come on, guys. You know I want that Alps. You know Daddy wants that Alps. Give it. Anyway. All right. So let's get rid of this stuff. I'll put it back down. And then we can move on to building a board. How about we build a board today? Yeah, sound good to you guys? Sounds good to me. Get that Polaris on. So yeah, kind of looking forward to it. This will be a good build in general. No names. Well, there's an order number, so I'll set that off to the side. Polaris AI03 by Kevin Plus and AI03. Ordered your first board. Can't wait for it to come. Nice, man. I can't either. It's gonna be fun, I'm sure. Racing Giraffe, nice. Dropping that link. So something that I thought was interesting about the Polaris is you get this fancy insert. For one, it looks really clean, and by really clean I mean really, really clean. The packaging, that is. I mean, it doesn't have a fancy printed on like full color outside box like Rama stuff, but aside from that one feature of a Rama box, the rest of it seems packed fairly like a Rama box. Yeah, what did you get? Found the link. Yeah, okay, so ooh, can't wait for your switches so we can get this going. What are we getting going? Image? Feel free to tell anyone what you want to get going. Or not. But I agree. Alright, so it comes with this fancy guide. So it's like, hey, this thing is complex. Follow the instructions, else your own peril. Which is cool. Cool. I can go along with it. Boom. Right? But now we get this box, and this box is like, it's very much like a Rama box, right? Just the GAT clears came in a kit. Oh yeah. And XD64. Totally fine. That sounds kind of cool. Let me know how it turns out. All right. So I'll go to the overhead view now, and we can kind of check it out, right? Like, see. Nah, that deserves screen time. It's very Rama-like packaging. A pre-welcome to the community, right? Right, Fluffy Unicorn. That's true. That's true. Okay, so we're gonna have a PCB right here, which, you know, in AI03 fashion, like with KBD8X Mark II, has a little flexi relief cut, which I gotta admit is not very important to me. I don't actually think it matters, and I believe our plate material is brass, so it especially doesn't matter on this one. Though they made it in other materials, so it's got underglow LEDs, it's through hole, it supports in switch LEDs, none of which we're doing except for the switches themselves. We've got this fancy brass plate here, which I think is the right option, and it actually looks pretty clean. There is a couple little blemishes here, which look like tarnishing blemishes probably, or maybe either where the plate was held. Yeah, I'm betting that's where they were held during electroplating. So, whatever. It doesn't really matter very much. It's not like you're going to be staring at the plate anyway. And that's the downside, not the upside. Though, if I had a polycarb case, I would be pretty bummed out about that. Perfect. Cool. Plate there. So we're going to get all the parts out first, and then we'll... Ugh. Perfect. It's got some foam in there. The weight, all that good jazz. All right, so that's all the big components. Now let's get the small stuff out. Come on, guys. Come on. Bump buns. And that's it. It's all empty. All right, done. No, I'm joking. Chronoman, how would you go about cleaning brass parts over time? Are you talking about brass parts that aren't sealed in some way? Things that have tarnished? Or do you mean like brass parts that are sealed and aren't tarnishing but are dirty? Yeah. It's an important distinction, actually. Two different answers. How long do things usually take from KP Republic to the East Coast? I don't know about to the East Coast. To the West Coast, it's pretty hit or miss. A few weeks usually. Less maybe. Depends. I don't know. My experience is a few weeks. And then from within the US, it's going to be, whatever US shipping times are. Oh, that didn't fall the way I wanted. Okay, so we got all of our stuff here. What do we have here? We have some bump-ons. You know what? Let's throw that stuff on right away. Let's not wait for the bump-ons. Bump-ons can never hurt. They protect everything from getting scratched. And we're here now. So, get them on. And it looks like we have 4 circular ones, and we have 4 circular ones here, so we'll do that. Aren't tarnishing just dirty. Okay. Water. Maybe mild soap. Or if they're not dirty in a way that requires some kind of solvent action to go on, maybe instead of all of that, just like a brush, like a nylon brush, something softer than the brass that won't scratch it. Yeah, I hope that it doesn't take too long for you, Brainstorm. Those are a tight fit. I guess as soon as we're done with this, we'll actually go follow the instructions, because we don't want to damage the board. I don't think there's anything crazy in those instructions. I think all the instructions are going to say, and I only read over part of it. The part that I read over is the part about via compatibility and flashing. So, but I think what it's going to talk about in there is these doodads, the installation of these on the plate such that you are properly damped. Thought I heard something. Yeah, so I think that's what it's going to talk about. Okay, sweet. Seems pretty straight. Just thought I should ask since you've never dealt with brass before. Yeah, I mean, unless you know what it's sealed with, I wouldn't use alcohol. You could probably damage whatever. Damage is the wrong word. You could probably partially remove whatever sealant was used on the brass, if any. So if it was like some kind of a lacquer or whatever and used alcohol, which is a polar solvent, you could actually damage the lacquer itself. Whatever it is, you don't want to damage it. So unless you know that alcohol won't harm it, I wouldn't use alcohol. Or, sorry, and I meant non-polar solvent, not polar solvent. Okay, cool. So looks like the bottom and top case are loose. Okay, so this fell out. So we've got some damping foam that's made for the bottom. Fine. We've got some damping foam that's made for the top, which goes this way on this side. Perfect. Don't care about all that. So this goes between the plate and the PCB. The bottom one goes between the case and the PCB. But we don't want any of that right now. Get out of here. We're not going to want this pretty soon either. But before we get rid of it, let's actually take the top and bottom apart. those screws, and then that's where we'll start from. Yeah, the cleaning process is pretty standard for keyboards. I mean, it's just like use your little brushy deal to remove the dirt. And done. Okay. Skip up a notch. Zen TV, thanks so much for that follow. Anybody who's here who isn't already a follower or a sub or whatever, you know, consider going up here somewhere and clicking the button for that, if you don't mind. It helps. Today we're gonna drink some bubbly water, and then go over to, you know, whatever other socials I've got and go do that. What lube am I using? So for the stabilizers, we're gonna use 205 grade 0 Racing Giraffe, but the lube used on the switches, which is already done, is a very light coating per customer request of 3204. I think you probably should have let me do it the way I normally prefer to do it. Just my personal opinion. Not because my opinion is right, but because if you tell me you want a light lube job, I'm probably pretty good at affecting that thing. But the other thing is, thank you so much, Tigerman's 596. I appreciate that follow. I just kind of put that in there to store it. So the other thing we used Krytox 105. So we used an oil on the springs. Again, that's not my preferred way, but that's what the customer wanted, and they provided the lube, so that's what we did. Boop boop boop. And I think it turned out okay. I don't think it was bad at all, just not what I would have chosen to use. All right. So we don't need this. I'm not 100% sure what these are for. These look like weight screws, but there's already weight screws in. Okay, whatever. We'll find out. There's instructions, remember? What up, Shocks? How you doing, man? How you doing? I don't know. That's too big, and that's 2. So I guess we're gonna move to 1.5 maybe. Oh, good thing I went here to the Myiasis. Man, I am waiting on some Myiasis. I ordered like a huge Myiasis set. Not huge, but a full Myiasis precision driver set. So basically this kind of driver. And they still haven't shipped, man. I don't know. I ordered it a while back and it's still not there, which major bummer. So what has everybody gotten in on? Anybody getting in on anything this month still? You haven't already? I mean, it is the 29th, right? So there is always a day or two to jump in on stuff. If you're planning on lubing some T-Soons, what would I use? I would use 3204, which is what we used in this case. I would go a little heavier than I went in this case, but I like a little bit heavier of a lube job. And I do use 205 grade 0 on all of my stabilizers. All of them. You didn't think you would, but you got in on Infinity Pastel. Infinity Pastel looks really good. I actually like it quite a lot. I'm trying to think of what I did get it on. Hold on, I'll pull it up. Okay. So let's pull this bad boy up. Okay, so what do we have? What do we have here today? Okay, we have Infinity Grain. I did get in on that. GMK Noel, I did get in on that. GMK Lotus, I got in on 2 sets of that. I didn't get in on Nautilus or Masterpiece or 7V, although, is it still going? It is still going. I didn't get in on Space Cat or Cat Space Cadet. GMK Rogue, I'm on the fence about yet, but it hasn't launched and it won't for a little while. Bushido, didn't do it. Bleached, didn't do it. Deep Navy, I didn't do it, but that hasn't started yet, and I'm kind of thinking about it. GMK Frostwitch, I have not gotten in on it, and I'm thinking about it, but here's my problem with GMK Frostwitch. I want to go to it and we can look at it, right? So it comes with the Hiragana Legends in the base kit, and if you want not Hiragana Legends, you're SOL. There's another set that had Hiragana Legends in the base kit, and you had to buy a separate set to get the Latins. I'm trying to think of what that was this month, and I refuse, sir. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was last month. Hey, Slavey, got it. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Tiger Man's 596. I think I already thanked you, but thanks again. Zen TV, I definitely did, but again, thanks. Okay. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. Those are what I got in on. Ooh. Didn't get in on, but bought a Sirius, really liking it. Sirius is a great board. It sounds amazing. Fluffy Unicorns. Didn't think you would, but you got in on that pastel. I don't know, man. I think it looks nice. I don't know if I'm in. So I think there's screws back here too, which means we have to remove this plate or this weight. I guess we'll find out. M2? Oh, no. It is 2. Weird. It looked like 2.5 for a sec. Okay, so they're loose. Coming out of the box. Much would it be? Okay, hold on one sec. How much would it be for me to build you a tofu acrylic? Do you have all the parts already and are just asking me what it would cost me, what it would cost you for me to do labor for you? Or are you asking what the entire board would cost, including my labor? Okay, yeah, if you already have all the parts, my prices are pretty straightforward. They're in my Discord link, or not in my Discord, in my Reddit link. The one below might still be out of date. I can't remember if I updated it or not yet, but if it's just the labor, a 60% board, so assuming you're talking about a tofu 60 acrylic, not a tofu 65, is 35 bucks. So labor is 35. And then you're probably going to want one extra that I recommend to basically everybody, which is another $10 on a board like that, which is lubing those stabilizers. So 5 stabs times $2 a piece, 10 bucks. Oh, if it's the entire board, then it's wholly dependent on what parts you pick. But I think the cheapest you're realistically going to get away with, hey, I got in on a tofu acrylic, I'm a URU, or anyone else for that matter, built it for me, and I got relatively inexpensive switches, keycaps, whatever. I think you're still looking at probably just at about $400. That's, I think, about the bare minimum you're ever going to get away with. Yes, and there are 2 screws down there, so we'll set this weight aside. Ooh. Actually hefty for its size. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Keyboards is definitely not a cheap endeavor. It's quite expensive. And a lot of people will go with something like a sandwich PCB material type board and be like, well, these are a lot cheaper, and the kits are a lot cheaper, but my labor is a lot more expensive on them because there's a lot more labor involved. like a lot more labor involved. Okay, I like it. So I don't know if you guys can kind of see this from there, but it has these slots right here, right here, right here, and that's obviously where the plate's going to go through, top and bottom. So my recommendation would be, if you know that you want a specific board like a tofu acrylic, then you just jump in on that. That's what you get, right? Don't compromise on that. The labor is going to be cheaper anyway. I guess it's just my 2 cents. All right, so we'll switch back over. We'll pull up a browser and we will go down to the Polaris build guide. Great. What switches are you going to use? Box white seemed like the obvious choice, IMO. I don't know about all that. But I'm happy that you like them. I mean, I like box navies just fine for clickies. Okay, we've done blah blah blah. Great. Build it by gut instinct and mess up. Okay, great. I have to admit, I'm really tempted to just build it by gut instinct. Pretty sure I can make it work, but I understand. What's in the box? Yep, long gaskets, small gaskets. The foam layers, one for below and one for above. Wafer, PCB deal. Yeah, great. Okay, hex keys. We don't really need their hex keys because we have these. These are 1.5 and 2 millimeter. Rubber feet, great. We put those on. A lot of custom foam, cut foam. Yes, great. Piece of paper warning everyone to read the build guide. Yeah, great. I'm glad if we check. We got that one. Okay, keycaps, great. Stabs, great. Enough switches to cover your layout, great. Likely lubed and tuned. Oh man, see, they're like promoting it. USB-C cable, soldering equipment. Yes, great. Tweezers, some sort of desoldering equipment, possibly flush cuts, electrical tape. See very bottom, acoustic tuning section layer. Oh, with electrical tape? Okay. Refrain from wiping down the board with chemicals such as isopropyl alcohol, especially for brass parts. Does that look familiar? We were just talking about that. Shocking the board with ESD charge may permanently damage the circuitry. Yeah, we know. For polycarb, it's not. But I love this comment right here. This is good. Poly is an absolute scratch magnet. It's simply impossible for it to not get scratched. Ooh, see that? And that's true, by the way. If you buy a poly board, it will get scratches, whether you like it or not. The end. Also be careful not to over tighten the screws. Absolutely. Read through. Box is useful for storing or reselling the board. Great. Cool. Building the Polaris. Prepare the PCB. So this is the part that I skipped down to because I knew that there was a QMK setup for it. So we're going to minimize this. We're going to pull up QMK Toolbox because we do have that open. Sorry about that. Great, right? So you're like, oh my god, what are we doing? This is what we're doing. Oh, and all the red PCB, all the red LEDs are on. Can anyone in the entire world please flash something that's automatically in a mode where the red ones aren't the ones that are on, where they're just cycling? Okay. We're gonna push the button. We're gonna watch it go into DFU or whatever mode. DFU, there we go. And we're gonna go bingo bango. So we did already download the VIA compatible hex, right? And the reason we did this is because now this has the VIA compatible hex. And now when I open up VIA, and I do this, oof, that's painful. And now when I do this, see, it sees that we have a Polaris, which is great, So this thing absolutely thinks, hey, you have a Polaris. Good. Now it's going to think we have a DZ60. Yep, and it does. Okay. Anyway, we'll get rid of VIA, because now I don't care. Now I'm just going to test it. Which software looks super used for Slavey? QMK Toolbox or VIA? All of them do. VIA allows you to live change everything that's going on the board, which is fantastic. IMO. Okay, so great. Now we've got a board. Right? So let's open up a little switch hitter reaction. Let's test this PCB out. So you're seeing red right there, and it's because I touched it real quick. So switch hitter thinks there was chatter. Chatter is something a switch can experience. We're not worried about chatter here, and chatter is not a thing that we experienced. So I do need to look back through the customer chat to make sure he didn't have a layout in opposition to what we're going to put on here. Customer, if you're in here, you know, you feel free. Why doesn't caps lock work? Huh. Okay. Guess we'll come back to caps lock. So confused by this. What's supposed to go on over here? Doesn't matter. It's anti-enter. Oh, I guess I should do this row. Alrighty, so we got to figure out what's going on with. Okay, so there's tab. What's up with caps? Is there caps on here? Did we check enter? Okay, enter. Shift, great. Now let's figure out what's up with caps. So VIA says that that's a layer, and it says that it's a layer, but that's home, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna go layer, and then we're gonna go and we get home. So we know that that layer works. Great. So we know that the board works. That the PCB works anyway. All right. So you said, where do you get springs for box switches? So you want aftermarket springs for box switches? I don't want to recommend Sprit to anyone for anything because I don't think time of day is due. I do have some Sprit springs that I bought before I understood that to be the case. But that is a place you could get them. Do GMK caps feel that much better, and are they worth the price? GMK caps are pretty good. They're pretty good, and they come in pretty cool colorways like that one. EPBT does now make ABS keycaps, although I've only seen black on white. I think there are some other colors. I can't talk to them yet. We do have a build coming up that will use them though, and I will absolutely review them then, or at least give you my thoughts at that time. But I think they're worth it to some extent. Can you test the key LED sockets at this point too, if there are any? Remember, I've never held a PCB. Well, yes, so you could actually here, and I'll show you how. So if I plug that in, and if you have an LED, right, so I'll pull out one that says it's yellow. Okay, great, yellow PCB, or yellow, maybe, whatever. Now, I don't know what direction is the anode and which is the cathode on these, and I don't really care. Okay, so where is in VIA? Is there a backlight button? So if I look at layer 0, right? This is layer 1, so that turns on layer 1. Is there a backlight? So backlight cycle, right? So if I push pipe, right? So if I layer and then where the pipe key normally would be, I should be able to turn on the LED, right? So here's how we do that. So here's our momentary on. And now we get a light, which you probably can't see very well, but I can see. I don't know, maybe you can see it. Right, so watch me remove it. So you saw it go off, right? Okay, so yeah, that's how you would test it. I'm not gonna test each one, because we aren't doing LEDs in this board, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that was the thing that was planned for this board. I don't know if Brainstorm, if you're the customer, maybe you are. Brainstorm, thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate that. I mean, I know what the customer's Reddit name is. So let me look here. Yeah, thanks so much for that sub, man. I really do appreciate that more than you know. Giving that prime sub away, I appreciate that. I know there's a lot of other deserving streamers out there. I appreciate that you gave it to me, man. All right, so if I go to messages, I'm gonna look for this customer. First of all, I want to know if there was band-aids. Okay, can you clip band-aid mod and lube with dielectric? I think I said I'm not gonna do dielectric grease. Maybe we are doing band-aids. I don't know if customer is in here. Customer, if you're in this chat, or chat, should absolutely discuss this. I don't mind doing band-aids, but I would definitely advise against. But like I said, we can and will do it. And then I want to know what the layout was. Okay, great. Anyway, let's get back to building. Okay, so I guess we're gonna do band-aids, right? Which is totally fine. And yeah, it's not a very common practice to test that stuff out beforehand. There isn't really like a great way to test all of them, but they're usually on a single circuit. So unless a trace is broken, and if it is, honestly, you could jump that. You absolutely can. It's weird. This customer wants like the lightest possible lube jobs and stuff, but also wants band-aid mods. Okay. That's doable. That's doable. We'll cut some band-aids up right now. So normally I try and have this part done in advance. I don't know if you guys are familiar. We're gonna need this out anyway, because we're gonna be also lubing up them stabs, clipping and lubing those stabs. Silverian 77, which with newer stabs and lube, I presume Band-Aid just deadens things too much. Yeah, so I'm trying to remember who, and I always forget, and I feel bad because it's another content creator. Was it Mr. Keebs, maybe? It might not have been. Anyway, he actually did like a show of it where he was like, no, we're going to test the sound properties of it. And it basically just came down to, it doesn't really do what it's supposed to do. And with Band-Aids, there is actually the chance that one day the Band-Aid itself will lift off the PCB and it'll still be stuck under the stab, and it'll actually interfere with the stab working right. So if it's not doing anything and it can cause problems, the general consensus is take it off. Like, don't do the thing, right? I for a long time was like, no, I still think that it does something, and I liked installing them, but everything is subject to change as we evolve. As I've done more boards without them, I tend to agree that that's actually the case, and then I recommend, hey, we don't do this thing. It's not like a hard and fast though. I mean, people get to choose what they want done, and if this is a customer choice, then this is a customer's choice. I mean, you guys know how it goes. So many things in here. This has become kind of a catch-all, and it needs to not be now. Because look at this. There's all these films in here and stuff. A bunch of Band-Aids. Okay. Everyone's doing great, no KB. How are you? Doing the LEDs on this board. I'm not doing LEDs on this board. But there are specific techniques that I could talk to you about for that. So we have one completed Band-Aid in here. Band-Aids don't take too much more time, but they do take a little bit. Should you just not do them? I'm confused. brainstorm. I don't. Is the customer in the chat for one? Let's start there. Is that you, brainstorm? Sometimes my customers chill in the chat, sometimes they don't, but I don't always know their names because they don't match their Discord names or their Reddit names or however they contacted me in the first place. Okay, I thought not. I was like, I also didn't get that impression, but you're like, should I just not do them? Whether you do LEDs is totally up to you. You can absolutely do LEDs if you want, though. Like, they're not gonna hurt you. Is it worth it? I don't know, man. If you want that light, then yes, they're worth it. It's the only way to get that light, realistically. But I mean, I guess it depends. Like, you also have to select the proper LEDs. It's not just any LED that can fit under a switch. And it might be worth mentioning that some switches are incompatible with certain types of LEDs in general. The little ones that I had showed you are the right ones to use for this kind of a job. If you want to use GMK keycaps, they're kind of a requirement. Mistakes were made. Trying to cut through all four of those at the same time was a mistake. Mostly because this X-Acto is just too dull, I guess. We have replacement blades though, so that's what we'll do next. It's actually a little more than twice the work too. So No Kitty says it's twice the soldering, and that's technically true. However, they don't seat down in a way that makes them actually conducive to just doing in one solder pass. So it's actually a bit more than twice the work. IMO. But it's totally doable. I mean, if it's a thing you want, then yes, you should do it. That's my... Anything that's worth doing is worth doing right, or at least the way you want it to be. Right? Yeah, seat and reheat. Sorry. I store a little Sharps container in there just for these. Okay, perfect. I have plenty of band-aids for some time to come. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. I think that's actually a little bit more than we need. Hey, Billy Mack, thanks so much for that follow. I appreciate that, man. My man. My man. Thank you. Okay. And boom. Get rid of those other ones. Well, I did it for the soldering, so I guess you answered my question. There you go. I think LEDs can be cool. I think they're a cool touch. When it comes to my build labor, I charged as if I'm building you another keyboard, basically, for it. So, well, at least based on this, at least for the size base. So, like, if it's $35 to build a 60% keyboard for you, which is my going rate, which I think actually beats a lot of other people, basically everyone else. But either way, if I'm building and that's how much it costs, then it's like another $35 to do that part. 6, 8. I'll pull out 10, but I'm pretty sure we only need 8. Maybe I'm wrong. I need to look at the layouts again. 10. Great. Yeah, if you're doing this to get soldering experience, then build them. It's gonna be cool anyway. Yo, I'm here. You finally cut a live stream, buddy. And a good one on the Polaris. Thank you so much, man. Review for the tube. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for catching it. I really, really, really am happy that you're able to join. Hopefully you enjoy the stream. And I think Polaris will be pretty darn cool. I probably could post a subset list of the things that I'm gonna build so people know what I'm gonna build on what day, but I usually give like a little recap of what's coming up at the end of my stream, so like I feel like everybody kind of knows ish what's going on. At least if they watch, right? Okay, cool. Set those off to the side. We're going to be using those sooner rather than later. Set these over here because we're going to be using them for effing ever from now. Nah, it won't be that long. Dude, I totally understand. I totally get it. I can't make it to all the ones I want to watch either. I really cannot. Look at that. So pretty. Okay. Great. So now we'll go back to the instructions. Yay, instructions. Cool. Yeah, we did all that. Prepping the case. Unbox, remove all that, prep the plate and adhesive gaskets. Carefully place 6 of the long gaskets onto the plate, 1 per tab. For the minority who are planning on using aftermarket custom plates, install these gaskets on the case top area where the plate tabs overlap. I'm confused. Oh, okay. Repeat, there should be 12 gaskets at the end of this step. Pretty sure what he means is put them on top and bottom. So yes, we will be doing that. Pretty easy to tell how many there are also. So you can just open this thing, which has the long gaskets, and be like, how many are there? It's really hard to tell because this just looks like a flat sheet, but if I do this, you can see they lift up kind of independently because they're cut out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like there's 14 and only 12 places to do. Sure, so we'll do this now. Great. We got this little doodad. Doodadarino. And this is kind of a pain in the ass, so I'm actually going to apply this with this. Okay, that actually worked pretty well. It was actually kind of a pain. Have I ever bought a board, the board you bought from the XD64? I have not built the specific XD64. The XD64, trying to think, is the 64 the 60 layout one? Send a link, please. I mean, I've built plenty of boards like it, that are more or less complex even. I'm pretty sure it's straightforward. Most boards are not so complex as this. Got some vintage blacks, some pre-1989. Nice, dude. Nice. You see me though. I know you do every. Yeah, man. Thanks. Yeah, so I think vintage blacks can be great. They're super hit or miss though. Like, there are plenty of vintage blacks that kind of suck. That are like super gritty and not good. And I think that while they can be amazingly good, oh come on. While they can be amazingly good, sometimes people expect them to be good when they really simply are not. The ones that they have, I mean. I'm happy to hear it. Sounds like you got some really good ones. Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of amazing sometimes. But I would say that even great vintage blacks are, because I do have some really good vintage blacks, so I have a lot of not good vintage blacks. I would say that even really good vintage blacks are usually not better than decently broken Telios or something like that. Just my 2 cents. But I mean, sometimes it's nice to just have vintage things. Like, I have a bunch of vintage boards with Alps, right? And those Alps boards sometimes aren't better than an MX counterpart. Yeah, it's kind of how I feel about them. Decent. Nice, Flesian. What's up, man? How you doing? I'll click on that link, by the way, that you sent, Brainstorm. XD64, right? I mean, it looks like a pretty straightforward 60 build. looks like a pretty straightforward build. I haven't used that actual PCB though. This is not a personal board. This is a customer board. And customer has been so patient because this board took so much longer than he anticipated it arriving in. He had it shipped direct to me from KBD fans. And this customer and I talked a really long time ago. He's like, I'm just gonna have it shipped direct to you. I'm thinking about buying it. So that's like how long ago basically it was. I think. Maybe I'm recalling incorrectly. Either way, I know he had the shipping changed to match me. I don't know, it's crazy because I talk to a bunch of customers, so sometimes I'm like, I'm forgetting the details of this one. I have to go back and look, which is why I like write everything down. And why I try and talk through Reddit where possible instead of Discord, because no one can go back and edit comments or anything on Reddit. It's there historically. Don't get me wrong, I do things on Discord too. But like, it's just nice to be able to refer back to history. Okay. Man, aligning these, it takes some time. Yeah, I mean, part of the shipping delays were probably related to things that were completely outside of anyone's control, right? Cool. So now all of our little gaskety doodads are installed. Perfect. I think we're done with this for now, but I'm not 100% sure. Read the rest of the Instructamundos. Nope, not that one. As per previous step, if you're planning anything, no. Prepare the case top half and small rectangular gaskets. So place the small gaskets horizontally at roughly the indicated points on the inner wall. Why? Should be placed at plate height on the center band, flush to the lower edge as shown. So the smaller ones, so that's these guys, right? And there are only a few of those. This shows 6. Were there 6? I think there might be 8 in here, but some of them could be extra, I guess. Yeah, okay. So it says at those locations, they're like extra spacing in there. Okay. So if I zoom in there. Oh, okay. That's weird. It's next to the screw. So it's literally on this little shelf right here. So it's hard for you guys to tell, right? But there's this shelf. This is where the plate will go. And then there's this shelf right here. And there's a screw right in the middle of it, but it wants me to put the gaskets around those screws. On the outside of those screws. And then here, there's not space. In the inside there. Oh, it goes on the inside. Okay. That actually does make sense. I understand. Here. This is the picture of them. Makes better sense. Cartoon, you're gonna love it. Hopefully I get shipping soon. Yeah, man, I hope. It looks really nice, actually. I will say that. White with PVD black and white plate. Oof. Nice. T65 is starting to ship soon? Really? Nice. All right. I saw above Racing Giraffe, you said something about, did it include stabs? Are you talking about this board? This board did not include stabs. No stabs were shipped along with this. Okay. I see what they're doing here, though. They're basically just damping the plate out all together, which is pretty good. This is pretty much how I would want it to be done if it were gonna be mine. So good on you. I believe AIO3 probably designed this part, and if he did, good on you. Looks like centered. Which I don't think is that critical, actually, that it's centered. Yeah, I can't imagine that it does. There's no cutouts for it on the plate. It just needs to be roughly centered so that it's spreading that load, distributing evenly. Perfect. Okay. So top aligned. And so for those of you who are wondering what the hell that's going to do, it's going to do something like this. And it's just going to mute everything out. And if you look real close, you can see side to side, front to back. I can do that. Plus then down, It'll have squish, and it'll have squish the other way, but it'll be slightly compressed. So that'll actually be pretty cool. Perfect. Okay. Great. We already put the bump-ons on. Install stabs using the shim. So the shim goes on top, which is kind of cool, actually. Clip the overlapping bits with a wire cutter or similar. So it says, wait, what does it say? Do no mistake on our end when using the two. Oh, the inserts collide. Got it. That makes total sense. But that won't affect this, right? So these little doodads, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, right? So we definitely won't be using that. But it's great because our little band-aid-aroonies will easily be able to go like right here. Which is kind of perfect. Okay, so I don't see anything from customer. Oh, I didn't even show you guys. Sorry. So yeah, these little inserts go on top of the PCB as a spacer. It's pretty cool, actually. Oh, okay. You meant the kit that he bought. Yeah. Even helped with the 7V in this part of the design. Nice. Is there a material inside those rectangles? No, this is just PCB material. Just very, very thin. So that's gonna probably just be like silver or something, like Hazel. So just the coating that would be on a PCB. Matthew Diaz, how you doing, man? Checking out that build. Them build stats, yo. It will look nice with 8008. Okay, so I need to look and make sure. The first layout picture under universal plate. Okay. So what he's talking about here is wanting this. So this layout, boom, boom. I'm guessing he means ANSI, obviously. The first layout under universal plate. This is a Win key. Okay. So he must mean that. Perfect. So just boom, standard ANSI. That's pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward, boys and girls. And with stepped caps. Cool. Great. So we know what we're doing. So we are using that many. Selly85, thanks so much for that follow. I really do appreciate that. Really, really. Okay, so we do know that we need 5 sets of stabs, which is great. That's this many. We also know that the 2.75U and the 225U on the right side of the board will collide. Okay, so we'll apply our band-aids to this. Did someone say microscope? Oh, we can definitely micro it up. Band-Aid Aruni. Yep, TM. What are we gonna microscope? Are we gonna micro? Are we gonna microvision something? Okay, we'll microvision it. Boom. Here we go. Here's that coating. I think that's what you meant to ask about. So it's like silver. But it should just be whatever the PCB coating material is. So Hazel probably. So that means that that would be silver. Microvision. Boom. Okay, and I'll show what that looks like in a second after we've gotten a Band-Aid applied to it. Then we can do our stabilizers. Lube and clip them. Okay. Cool. And so this will be really interesting because we'll be lubing them direct, right? So now there's a little tiny strip of Band-Aid between where the stabs go in. Yeah, so they just raised the stab. So the PCB material here is very thin. It's thinner than normal, so they've got these little shims, basically. And then we are putting Band-Aids on there because the customer requested Band-Aid mod, but Band-Aid mod basically prevents the bottom of the stabilizer insert from smashing down onto the PCB, which was previously thought to be somewhat loud. Turns out that it might not help that much, if at all, under many circumstances at least. And if it does, I mean, there is still always the chance that it'll become dislodged and roll up under there. We try to avoid creating a situation where that would be likely, i.e. one where excess lube is there or some situation like that. Zoom. Yeah, no joke, Matthew Diaz. No joke. That is definitely the point of having a microscope. So we can zoom way the fuck in. And we do. We go deep here on this channel. Deep into that zoom. Are we still the only keyboard stream with a microscope? I definitely see other people. I know other people know and have talked about it. I have not seen anyone else with one yet. But I'm okay being the trendsetter on that one. As far as I'm aware, they are too, but it doesn't mean anything. So just to raise the stabs, first time you're seeing something like those. So it's not the first time they've existed. So other people have made thin PCBs before, namely the H87A by Heinebusch. There was the thin boy version, and the thin boy version came with a set of something very similar to that did exactly the same thing. So they are definitely a thing. I think I want to credit Heine with creating that first. As far as I know, he is the one, and in that circumstance, but doesn't mean I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody else did it before him. Perfect. So now we could pre-lube all of these right now because we're gonna need to lube them, and I think now actually does make perfect sense, or not quite perfect. I think we will clip our stabs first. So he said he wanted the bottom row one, which was this layout. This should pretty much get us to where we want to be, I think. So the idea is, if you look at this, for those of you who don't know, look at this, right? You can see that the stabilizer guide, which is, so the stabilizer wire, which is this, the stabilizer guide, which is this main body, and then the stabilizer insert, are all one piece that can go up and down. I don't have a good way of actuating it in here, but the bottom of the guide can come out and hit things that are below there. If you can see, it extrudes out below there. Now we're going to clip those little weird spring-footed legs off, but even then the bottom can still stick out. So the concept was that the band-aid would damp that smacking the PCB. And it sounds really good on its face, except that people have said, hey, this thing doesn't actually make an impact, and here's science to back it up. I'm not saying I 100% agree with it, but I think it doesn't make that much of a difference in my own experience. And so it's worth not doing it to not have to deal with any potential problems from it. IMO. But I guess that's for everyone to make up their own mind. So we're going to do what we did before, what we've done many, many times before. And we're going to clip these little foot eats off. That one that's on the top now with the little hook on it, and the one that's on the top now with the little hook on it. We're going to use our flush cutters to do that. And we've done this on video before, but I'm not going to do it in a microscope video right now, but I will show you what the results look like. now you have something that's relatively flat on the bottom. Okay, so we're going to do that to all of these. And then we'll start. You just don't like the idea of a 10-cent band-aid on a $600 keyboard. I understand. I really do. I used to be all about them, and now I'm pretty not about them. If you couldn't tell from me saying what I've said. I mean, like, I'm not against people doing it for them. And there are scenarios where boards are particularly loud, where it's obvious that the PCB is the part getting smacked and it's making a lot of sound. And I'm pretty sure in that scenario, that's what we do. I don't know what this music is. We're just gonna skip songs. Maybe we were on the wrong playlist. That would be unfortunate. Disclaimer, no science involved in that opinion. Yeah, I mean, if it sounds like that's what's going on, I'm willing to do the thing for my own boards, and then if that's not the case, I'll just desolder it and rebuild it myself. So I have that luxury, though. Not everyone gets to choose to have it both ways. That sounded like the wrong playlist to me, the one that I was playing. Oh well. Alrighty. Let's get our little paintbrush arena, right? Isn't that what we're doing? Right? And we're gonna paint the inside of this doodad. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So we're gonna take a little dollop. Normally we do this on Microvision, but I'm feeling a little like I don't want to do that right now for some reason. Normally I at least show you guys one under microscope. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what this looks like under microscope after the fact, right? So we've applied some lubricant in there. And that's what it looks like. Hard to tell from there. So leaving that out on the one side a little bit more, but honestly, it's pretty much done. We're not going to add more lube. We're just going to smear that around a little better in there. Perfect. Now that's done. Feeling zoomed out. Well, I can zoom in without, zooming that in. How about that? Check this out, guys. I gave myself a haircut the other day. Yesterday. Gave myself a haircut. And I think it looks okay. I think it looks good. It's pretty normal, in fact. I was getting a little sick of basically not having. Getting a little sick of not having my hair cut correctly. It was super irritating. It's starting to drive me crazy. It sounds way harder than it is. Did you use a Flowbee? I did not purchase a Flowbee. Oof. Wow. Do those still exist? The 90s called They Want Their Flowbees Back. No, KB, I don't know how old you are, but I feel like you dated yourself by telling us that you know what a Flowbee is. which is fine. I'm cool with people dating themselves on my stream. I do it all the time. Okay. You wonder if Flobies... I didn't even know they were for sale still. I thought that was a thing from the 90s that like died. Also, probably the first keyboard streamer to have a Floby link posted in their chat. I bet that link doesn't get sent to very many people very often. I date myself because no... Oh, I'm so sorry, man. That's a sad panda comment right there, man. That's okay. You're welcome here. There are lots of people who like don't live with their significant other anyway, and then they're in the same boat, even if they are technically dating someone, because they're all like quarantined. I've actually heard that like online dating is kind of booming right now. Like there's way increased activity on things like OkCupid and stuff like that. It's like $100. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. Floby stock way up. Ooh, you're reminding me of stock. So apparently Carnival is getting a bailout, or so I've heard. Either way, their stock was massively up today, which makes me feel really good, because those of you who have watched my stream for a while know that I like cruising and that I have gone on cruises. In fact, I've streamed one time from a cruise. That's right, I have done it very briefly. And I did buy stock, and I bought stock when it was like $8 a share, and now it's like double that. Makes me feel good. I didn't get like super in. I didn't go super deep, but I did buy, you know, a bit. There's also this benefit if you own at least 100 shares in Royal Caribbean, Princess, or not Princess, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, or Norwegian. There is a perk of owning at least that many shares. I think it's at least that many. Either way, where you get onboard credit for every cruise. You just have to show proof of ownership of stock. And that proof can be just like a printout of the brokerage what is it called, the sheet? I'm spacing. The one where it says basically what your holdings are. So super useful. So I will be getting double perks. I didn't get in on the others, though I should have gotten in on Royal also. I don't really care for Norwegian, as far as I know. But who knows? That kind of cruising. Yes, that kind of cruising. Wow, dude. Wow. Thinking about taking your first cruise around New Year's if possible. What are those washers with the band-aids on them? You've never seen them before. These are washers. These are spacers, and I've applied band-aids to them. These spacers go on top of the PCB to increase the thickness of the PCB so that the normal tolerance where the screw goes in right here is the correct thickness for the stabilizer to hold on. So this PCB is extra thin. And in order to account for the fact that the stabilizer is made to go through a 1.5 millimeter thick PCB, this thinner PCB, I don't know how thick it is. It's probably 1.2 millimeters. And this is probably 0.3, though we could check. you know what? I'll check for you guys. How about I do that? Get some cheap electronic calipers here. Boom. Okay. Where the PCB at, yo? Yeah, 1.2. We'll call it. That's 0.7. So like 1.9 millimeters. Oh, yeah. No, that's actually right. I'm thinking it's normally 2 millimeters thick. This one's thinner. Yeah. So when you're reading the instructions, something like, due to our error. Yeah, okay. So basically what they're saying is if you look at these, they're all the exact same dimensions, which is normally fine because most of the stabilizers are so far away from the other stabilizers that there's no interference. The exception is that where the 2.75U right shift goes and the 2.25U right the 2.25U enter goes, that hole right there and that hole and that hole and that hole are so close that these are going to interfere with one another, as you can tell, and they will need to be clipped as a result of that. Yeah, we're just gonna cut them with cutters. We make it work here. We would have figured that out on our own, but I'm glad that they said something about it because not everyone is on that same page. Nor should they need to be to assemble something simple. So, not on this channel, obviously, but I personally have assembled a number of firearms, built my own, or participated while others were building their own also. And I have built things that are really simple like that, where the instructions, everything just goes together. And then I've also built things that require like hand fitting all the things, where the metal pieces do not work well together and you have to tune them all by hand to work properly. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm not afraid of a keyboard needing to be tuned up a little bit. We'll get it there. We'll get it there to where it needs to be. Miters, always your recommendation. I feel like that might not be the right tool for certain jobs, but you know what? Might as well, right? Which actually reminds me, I have been looking at so I have everybody buys into, if you have cordless tools, right? You buy into one ecosystem usually. You don't buy into most. You're not like, I'm gonna buy a Milwaukee and a Makita and a DeWalt or whatever, right? Because that would be outrageous. So you buy into one system. So I have drills, but not a lot of the other things that you can get. And my drills are Milwaukee. And I bought into that ecosystem because their battery is sustainable. Because I used to have a Makita and they did away with their battery. And Milwaukee has said, hey, we're going to keep this battery. And I'm like, great, keep that battery. And I'll buy all your tools. Even DeWalt, right? DeWalt has the flex batteries, the flex volt batteries, and the, maybe you guys don't care about this. Maybe this is like super outside your realm. And if so, feel free to tell me to shut the hell up about this. Anyway, I go for the gold plasma torch. Yeah, just cut everything with a plasma cutter. Anyway, you bring up miter saws, and it's reminding me that I have been looking at the cordless miter saw, the 10 or the 12-inch, and I'm really tempted to do the 12-inch Milwaukee cordless miter saw, but damn, is that expensive. Which is crazy because the table saw is way less money. I don't understand. Don't understand. So here's your take on cordless tools. Ooh, is it a hot take? I feel like it might be a hot take. Let's go. Let's go. You're gonna say it's like a cordless keyboard? Because that would be funny. Miter saw, get corded. You set it up, it doesn't move. But what if you are gonna move it? Although I understand where you're going with this. And I've thought about that too. Specifically because the cordless ones have LEDs, not lasers, for the guide. And the LEDs supposedly cast an amazingly good shadow that makes it super easy to tell where your cut line is going to be. But the laser's got to be like dead simple, right? It's a laser. It's like, oh, there's a laser line there. Boom, that's where it cuts. Batteries have to be replaced and they're expensive. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That is one perk of the DeWalt system that uses the flex volt batteries, because it also comes with, and it uses 2 of them, which is bananas, but because they're expensive already. But it comes with a charger adapter that can also just be plugged into the saw, and then it's corded. So there is that. Kemper666, what's up, man? Thanks for that follow. Appreciate that. You did all the baseboards, trim everything in your house with a calibrated $100 corded miter saw, no laser, not compound, etc. T-Storm 23, best loop for holy pandas. Man, this guy taking it right back to Keebs. I appreciate that. Okay. 3204. The end. That's my take on it. I lube all my springs with 205 grade 0 because I have a bunch of it and I don't care about it being a waste to tub lube springs and it taking like 6 times more lube than you need to do it. Don't care. Saves my world a shit ton of time. I'm doing it. So springs for any kind of switch, 205 grade 0. Stems for holy pandas, 3204, baby. If you really like light lube jobs and you're trying to go extra light and you're afraid that you'll put too much grease on there and it'll be too much, then use 3203. But note, these lubes, as you step up to higher viscosity, also have better staying in place action, right? They stay right where the fuck they are because they have greater viscosity. They're grade, whatever, I'm not gonna get into it. Anyway, they stay in place better. So things like 205 grade 0, that lube job will last a little longer. 3204 lasts a little less long, but longer than 3203, which will last way longer than the oils. The thing that messes up these greases is dust getting in eventually.
Transfer complete.
Ooh, Hugo Keys, thanks for that 31-person raid. How you doing, man? How was your stream? I actually was watching a little earlier. I popped in, I was lurking because I was setting up for my stream. Watched a little bit of yours and I watched a little bit of Plume. as I was setting up and doing some other things around the house. It's good to see you, man. Thank you so much for that raid, for real. Gundam Cheese, thank you for the follow. You'll like it. Thank you so much for the follow. Also, I like that name. I will like it. You were right. T-Storm 23. You work in construction and remodeling. You will never, ever, ever buy a cordless miter. Okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you're probably right. I've watched a lot of videos on comparisons between them, and the problem seems to be with me is that it's so expensive. Disco, what up, man? Thanks for that sub. I appreciate that, dude. I really, really do. Thank you, my man. But it makes sense. It makes sense that you wouldn't do that. I can respect that. And you know, you guys are kind of right. A corded miter isn't really that big of a deal. Just do that thing, right? Yeah, Polaris. Show us your chair. Epsilon keyboards. Ooh, I've never heard anyone ask that. Show us your chair. Huh. That's a weird one. Somebody obviously said to say that. Hugo. I didn't get a new chair. I did cut my hair on my own. But here's my chair. It's not new. It's actually been here for a while. We're going the opposite direction from a plastic folding chair. I didn't use a Flowbee, no KB. I just used regular clippers. Oh, you'll like it. I love it, man. Yes, it is a Herman Miller Mira. Nice. Love this chair. This chair is fantastic. It's saved my back. Don't have back problems. Why? This chair. Guaranteed. Thanks again so much, Hugo, for coming in with the raid, man. That's awesome. People are talking shit about your chairs. I'm just saying. Because this chair is super scuffed. That's rough, dude. Yeah. You know your Herman Millers, man. That's awesome. Seriously, a good chair is a great investment. Yeah, it really is. There's really it's not even a question. And I'll talk more about that soon, right? Flexing with the Herman Miller. I'm not flexing. You guys asked me to show it, so I did. It's not even a flex. We've been doing this stream for a year, same chair. Haven't ever mentioned it as far as I know. Also flex. I guess. Will it fix your hunchback? Not if you sit forward like I am right now. But if you sit back in it, it'll actually be pretty good for you. Had to mute conference call, yeah. Just ordered an autonomous ergo chair. Autonomous ergo chair? I don't know that one. I'm super curious though now. Do a lifetime Costco chair. Too late investing into keyboards. Did I get here in time for the flex? Visionary, you did, man. Apparently it's a flex when people are like, show us your chair, show us your chair. And I'm like, that's weird. Okay. And then I show them the chair and I'm the asshole. That's okay. I'm the streamer, so I guess I'm always the asshole. Unless you're that one guy who needs to be asked to leave. Aww. Sad panda. Idiot exception. Thank you so much for the follow, man. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Hugo Kizzy heard you crying. Oh. You got a steel case Leap V2. Nice. Missed my old haircut. You missed my old haircut, man. I was getting really sick of the like hair just getting longer and longer. It had to go, man. It had to go. So I had to figure it out with a pair of clippers. I was really scared at first, and then I was like, but I don't see anyone except for my stream. So if I mess it all up, I'll just buzz it shorter and wait. I don't know. It's hair. For most people, it grows back. Not really me though. Not Herman Miller level, but decent. So plenty of Herman Miller chairs aren't actually amazing. Some are great though. That's my opinion. Have you seen GMK Sparta? Is GMK Sparta back again? Because that was supposed to run a while back, and then it got canceled, right? You're not an asshole. Your reach out. Thanks. Talked about it in stream. Oh, I have talked about it in stream, but like right when I started. See, I didn't remember. Maybe somebody asked me then, or maybe I was flexing then. Mina Knits. I love that name, by the way. We really want to order a standing desk. Autonomous makes them too. Yes, that's true. What's up? Nice to see you. Is the build done? No, we're lubing stabs. Well, we're talking. Then we'll be lubing stabs. IKEA makes a good one. I didn't know that. Anybody gonna try for a Savage 65 tomorrow? Maybe I should. I don't know. Noodle Noob, thank you so much for that follow. Appreciate that. You were cooler when your hair was longer and you didn't flex the chair so much. Thanks, Shocks. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. This is how you know we're friends. Doesn't the spacebar go under the PCB? Under, yes. They want to do another run. I'm glad. I hope they do. I thought it actually looked pretty cool. And I live in SoCal, right? So it would be a good. Then they gotta have a UCLA one, and I'll get both of them, and I'll be that trader. I don't know, whatever. Sorry, football rivalry thing. I'm not into football, but they are. You have an IKEA wardrobe and shelf thing too. They're nice. You know, you want something more substantial for a motorized desk. Here's my recommendation, Meaninits. I don't know if you're into computers, you're into keyboards, so presumably you might be. Get a Lee motorized desk that is a case. That is a computer case with a glass top. That you'll cover up with a fancy desk mat, but whatevs. Visionaire, you don't like the sport ball. So the only sports I really watch personally are motorsports. So no ball. But I'm not hating on them. I just, like, I can sit down and watch a football game and enjoy it. I just don't really ever follow any of it or choose to. Yeah, Lee. So you had the Leon, right? The Lee. Yeah, there you go. Visionaire had it. LI. And they do make them. They're stupid expensive. But if you want a badass looking computer case that's also a desk, just saying, it's a thing. Ugh, location flex? Yeah, anyway, so here we go. Lubing them band-aids. Location flex. It's not even a location flex, it's just relevance to the key set. You know what, Shocks? Why don't you flex about your ruby extruder tip, buddy? This is how you know we're friends. I wonder if anyone in here knows anything about carbon fiber printer filament. Could flex about that a little bit. Yeah, it's got ruby in it. Nice. Your computer is a micro Dell Optiplex, though. It's so teeny. Don't look up the Lee and Lee case. It's not going to be for you. That is not the thing you want to choose, probably. Like, it'll cost more than your computer did, probably. So we're building this Polaris, and I like it. I like the way it looks. I like everything about it so far. I'm hoping that I like the way it sounds and feels when it's built. Anybody else got a Polaris that they love? I feel like it's a board I should have gotten in on. I don't regret. Well, so far. So far, there's only a few boards over the last year that I regret not getting in on. Satisfaction 75 is one of those. Trying to think of others. I tried getting in on the, well, nah, I don't know, man. I don't know if there's anything else I regret. Okay, so all of those are lubed. Great. Our stabs are lubed for the most part, with the exception of the wires. So we'll get that all done. Oh, I guess it helps if I'm showing you this under the camera. Why don't I do that next time? Okay, great. So now let's lube this other side. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. Right, so we're grabbing some lube. I'll show you under the microscope what this will look like in a second, so you guys can kind of tell. I don't know why our music has stopped, but we'll address that too if it has. I think this song just has an outro that's so long that it shouldn't be this way, but whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe. Okay, cool. Yep, cool. The music started. That makes me happy. Okay, so now I'll show you what is going on under microscope. If only there was someone who could build it. Wait, what needs to be built? What needs to be built? Let me go back up. Visionary, you know I'll build a board for you. Honestly, I'll build one for basically most of you guys here. Your only regret is not buying two. Ooh, Polaris. You did get a Hex 3C and Profit. Ooh, nice. I did not get either one of those. Any of those. Two on Mech Market. Are you serious? There were two? Ah. Unbuilt Polaris and Sirius at your office. No desire to go get it and build it though. Yes, Mina Knits. Ping me. You know, I'll build stuff for you. Like that, Visionaire. Thanks for looking out, man. Idiot exception. You want to sell Polaris, let me know. You will get it built one day. You need to replace your Tofu 60 and DZ 60 one day. I think it's going to be a good replacement. You wanted Polaris so bad, you're going to try and fill that void with a Savage 65. I think it will be considerably better than you think it will be. And I actually think it will be better than this board is. Subject to change. We haven't built this yet, so I guess we'll find out. The Ribbon Blade. I'm your type of guy to build a client's board and flex on the client by doing a typing test while they watching. So true, though. Not only do a typing test on stream while they're watching, but then capture a typing sounds video and publish it to YouTube. Maybe even before they get the board in their possession. People getting sassy. It's okay, I like them sassy. All right, so here we go. Little micro vision for you guys. So check this. This is a stabilizer wire. Yeah. Oh, you can tell it's steel because there's a little rusty rester there. Okay. So that stabilizer wire, so good. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take some lube, some lubey luber. We're gonna go whoop, 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 whoop around this thing. Get that lube all up here. And I'll show you what it's gonna look like under the microscope when you have a good amount on there. Okay, perfect. This is what it looks like. Goopy, lubey goodness. Let's do that. Yeah, that one. Yeah. All right, let's do that now. I don't think we need that. Yes. All right. Also, I've noticed that our stinger transition is not on, which is weird. There it is. There that stinger is. All right, let's go back. Good thing the stream is marked not safe for work, right? Why do you guys think that I had it marked that way? Because we do things with lube here. On your stabs, the ribbon blade. Are you customer? How you doing, man? I am ready to be pleasantly surprised by this board, honestly. I mean, don't get me wrong, AO3 makes good stuff. KBD Fans makes good stuff. They're just not really known for their high-end quality. And I really do like KBD 8X Mark II a lot, which is one of their collabs. It's still not like at the forefront of premium, you know? This does actually seem pretty nice, and it's got cool design features. I'm hoping this changes the narrative a little bit here. Even more. There we go. Build it on the camera. Just a viewer. Oh, okay. Getting sassy. He's blazing on orthos. Who's blazing on orthos? What's IME or used type and speed? Okay, got it. It's not good. The fastest I've ever like consistently typed is about 80 words per minute, and right now I'm abysmally low because I haven't been typing that much or practicing at all. I just did a bunch of recordings of typing sounds videos yesterday of like, well, one customer board and then a bunch of my boards, and oh yeah, they were bad. They were real bad. Luckily in the video, because it's a sounds test, it didn't show what my rate was. It was just terribad. I had to like check. I was like, am I having a stroke? Like, what's going on right now? How is it this bad? How is it this bad? Except for one or two boards. Actually, one or two boards, for some reason, I was actually cooking. Any, oh, hold on, yeah. Good thing I stream. Oh, any switch spring oil suggestions except Crytox 105? No. In fact, no. not oil suggestions. Honestly, my suggestion is Crytox 205 grade 0. You're gonna use like way more 205 grade 0 than you need to if you tub lube like I do. But it doesn't move around, it stays on there, it provides sound damping superior to the other ones because it's actually more dense, therefore more mass per the same volume, which is the whole reason it's there in the first place, to reduce that vibration. Since it doesn't move around, it's clearly superior in my opinion. On springs specifically, it doesn't have a major effect on how the spring actuates, so long as you're not like hydraulically locking that chamber somehow or something. So basically, I just think it's better all around. And I don't understand why people think oils are. I'm willing to have my mind changed though, if someone can give me a great reason. Just a viewer. Yeah, thanks for pinging the socials. If anybody isn't already following or subbed or whatever in here, or following or subbed or whatever on Instagram, YouTube, etc., Twitter, please, go up into this area and do that here, and then, pop on over to those other socials and hit it up there. That would be awesome. I'd appreciate it. Some guy on Mech Market sells pre-lubed switches, and the springs on them are lubed with gun oil. Gun oil. Like Poppy's gun oil or Hopes or whatever they call themselves. Like, why would it be gun oil? I mean, I feel like the longevity of that oil is not as good as these PTFE based oils. And the reason for that is because it's gun oils can be made out of a number of things. I have some gun oils that are made out of a soy-based thing, and they do work really well. But they don't stand up as long. But the thing about a gun is you're gonna clean it in between using it, so you're gonna re-oil it a lot more frequently, probably, than your switch. Most people kind of want to put their keyboard together and not really take it apart for a really long time. Now, other gun oils are petroleum based for the most part. Most of them are. And frankly, the petroleum based ones eventually, because the petroleums are somewhat volatile, maybe not like super volatile, but they will evaporate with air, and then they get gummy when they get dust in them, and part of them have evaporated. So frankly, I would not do gun oil. Gun oil seems like an inferior lubricant to use for switch lubing. Again, I haven't tried it, so I guess you can say I haven't tried it. Yeah, that's my take on it. Oil sounds cool. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't think grease sounds considerably different, Racing Giraffe, but maybe not. You ordered 105 from MK a week ago, and ESP screwed up with their system again. I'm waiting 2 more weeks. Dang. Idiot exception. I'm so sorry, man. That is terrible. I hope you get it soon, too. Really. That's the worst. Part of the reason that I have so much Keeb stuff is because I have this tendency to like stock up on things that I use at all, or I'm likely to use when it comes to keyboard stuff, because partially I do this stream. Partially because I'm just into it, right? So I'm like, well, I might as well just buy 4 sets of stabilizers and only pay for shipping once or whatever. But I take for granted a little bit that not everybody has all of the things just ready to roll for multiple keyboard builds at any given time. And so in my mind, I'm just like, why not use a different lube or whatever at first? And it's like, That feels really bad because I have actually been in that same position with keyboards like when I was new. I'm like, oh shit, I now just get to wait until this part comes in. And it was like 3 or 4 weeks. You're just like, why is this taking so long? Why is this taking so long? Like, is it here yet? Is it here yet? So along that same line, group buys are like painfully slow for me sometimes, but it's gotten better as time's gone on. But I wonder how it is for more people who have less key sets now. Like, it must be painfully slow for you guys. Not all of you. Some of you have more key sets than I do. But what I mean is for the newbie guys, like, it must be painfully slow because you jump in on a buy and you have to wait like 5 months, especially now. It's bullshit. It sucks. Be painful. Yeah, man. I bet. I'm sorry. Lube with gun oil and use SA commando. Oof. Like a real man. Or whatever. Mechs on deck, man. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry for clapping. Thanks so much for the raid, the 110 people. How's everybody doing? Oh my god. Barbagetti. Okay, that's weird. Mechanical Guy 21, thanks for that follow. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Anybody who isn't already following, you know, think about doing that thing if you're into it. All right, so we're building the Polaris, and now we've got like this considerable pain in the ass part done. Sorry, lubing stabs is always the least fun. Red Rhino, thank you so much for that follow. I do appreciate it. Okay, so we'll put up all that lube dough. And Bessa, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. All right. So we've already put on all of our little gaskety doodads. Ah, that's what I'm calling them now. Gaskety doodads. Gaskety doodad. Gaskety day. I don't know what I'm doing with it now, though. That is not a lifetime supply. That's maybe like a 1.5 year supply. Maybe a little less. 20 washer. Thank you for that follow. Appreciate it. Sayoshi, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that too. You just saying out loud as well. Lol. Right? All right, so we're gonna zoom out a little bit. Sorry if that made you sick. Hopefully it didn't. All right. So we're gonna have to tune this a little bit, we know, because we are using all of the stabilizers. At this point, I think we're gonna go ahead and get this on here. Oh no. Yeah, this camera's been doing this. It's weird. I'll get it back. I swear. Yeah, not the best. Any chance they'll do an R2 on the Polaris? I think there's a chance. I think they probably will one day. I think it's sold really well, but they had a lot of problems because of shipping and stuff. So anyway, all right. So we get you on here, and then we'll get these stabs on here, one at a time. So we'll do the ones that don't require us to clip these little spacer things. We'll put these in place. Hey, Juego 3 Jugoe. Yeah, whatever. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. I really, really do. Okay. So now we will get these to go through where they're supposed to, maybe. Okay, so that's an interesting one. I don't know where those went, so I'll just pull them out since they're all pretty much the same. All right, cool. Keone, what's up? BBB, how you doing? How you doing? Long time no see. Oh snap, those are pretty cool, aren't they though? Oh, Wago. That makes sense actually. How you doing, Wago? All right, so we'll get these out here. Now I guess we need Phillips something or other. So we will do that. I can't wait till my Weehaw stuff comes in. You guys, I'm so excited. I ordered a bunch of Weehaw stuff. And it's been delayed in shipping. I'm bummed. I mean, I did Band-Aid mod on these, on the spacers. This seems to work fine too. So I put my Band-Aids on top of the spacers. Those Weehaw black and reds. Yeah, basically these. I mean, these I've had for a long time. These are just hex drivers. I didn't get the black and yellow ones, which are considerably more expensive. The ESD ones. Okay, so we're gonna do these up here because these don't interfere and the spacebar doesn't interfere. The other two do. You know what else I haven't done, or I didn't do on that other one? It doesn't matter because there's nowhere for it to short. But I didn't put my little washery doodads. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be good. I really am. Like, this one doesn't need one, but the other one clearly does. Normally I just put them on all of them. Guess that's not what I'm doing here. I did take enough out for it. Again, there's nothing for it to short out on because there's only one pin there, but might as well. Love having that little cough button. That's cool. Okay, so we're gonna do 125, 125, 125, 625, 125, 125, 125, which, look at this freaking awesomeness right here. I want you guys to see this. This is what every keyboard in the entire world should do. Tell me where the holes line up for what type of stabilizer. For real though. Like, everybody do that. Why doesn't every board have that? $0.09 extra a board, even if it was. Like, who cares? Who cares? Charge me 9 cents more. Little things like that are the things that I want. You know what I mean? Like, maybe some of you guys actually can remember exactly which holes look like they go for what thing and can eyeball it. I am not that guy, apparently. Apparently. Nate Dunn, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. I really do. All right, so this is where it's gonna get weird, right? So what we need to do is we need to make this go in the same place as this. And obviously they overlap in ways that are not conducive to one another. So I'm going to try and clip as much of it off on the corner as I can. And we'll see what happens. See if that worked. Oh snap, kids. Look at that.
Transfer complete.
Look at that. Sniper Bob, thanks for the 12-person raid. Have I gotten 3 different raids tonight? Thank you guys. Seriously. Thank you so much. And I didn't even see what Mex on Deck said because the chat went a little crazy. Like, I don't even know if they said anything because it went crazy. But I don't know if you're still in the channel. I don't know, but thank you guys so much. Seriously. Sniper. How's Sniper Bob doing, man? Niv 180, how you doing? All right, so that seemed to work, right? So we'll do that. Cut the corner off like you do. Like you do. On that and on this. Okay, we'll move this off to the side. We'll put our 2U doodadarino. Man, I've been saying that a bunch tonight. I don't even know where that came from. Our 2U stab in there. Oof. Come on, clamp down in there. All right, there we go. Oh, that end is not in. Okay, perfect. Hey, Jinio? Thank you so much for that follow. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Thank you so much. And I've been getting all the love tonight. Thank you guys. Okay, so both of these could use a washer. I don't know why I didn't do them on all of them, but I guess we're following the trend now. What are those things you're placing under the stabilizers? So the ooh, okay, enhance. I can enhance soon. Not quite yet, but I will show you a couple of them. So they are these. There's a perforation right in the middle, but it's a little spacer, and we measured them earlier. They're about 0.7-ish millimeters, and this plate is, or in this PCB is 1.2. So combined, they make roughly 2 millimeters, roughly, not quite, or a little more actually. They're a little extra big, but doesn't matter. So basically, because the PCB is made to flex, even though it doesn't matter for the brass plate that we're using, it would normally, with some other kind of plate material, allow for that thing specifically. It will teach you patience, but you need anyway. Oof, what's going on? Happy to follow, looking for more keyboard builders, trying to get into the hobby. Boy, did you pick a bad time for that. No joke. So actually, no KB is right. The group buys take forever. So when this kind of lifts and group buys and stuff start flowing a little faster, as you're getting into it, it'll actually be a little bit easier for you. It's funny. Patience is absolutely a requirement for this hobby. So if anybody's ever used a an H87A thin boy, it has something very similar to these. Okay, we're gonna try that one again. Stash, what's up, man? How you doing? Make it a half plate? Like, cut it? Like, cut the customer's brass plate to make it a half plate? I don't think I'm gonna do that. But how you doing, man? Long time no see. Why, dude? Yeah, dude, why not? You know, if it were my board, I might actually be willing to consider that. But it isn't, and I'm not. One day we're gonna have to do something like that on my stream. Like, I'll set up a camera in the garage and I'll go out there and just use a sawzall and cut into a plate. Actually, when Chewy was initially, when he made Baka 60, that's what's on this desk, by the way, right above the frame. I'll pull it back in a sec. When he made Baka 60, right, because it's split backspace, I was like, maybe I cut here? And he was like, he wasn't mean about it, but he was obviously like, fuck you, dude. Cut my baby. I was like, okay, I won't. So I didn't. All right, Baka go right there. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about doing, dremeling it down to make it take regular backspace. All right, finally, boys and girls, finally we can get to soldering. We don't need that part yet, we need that part. All right, so this has got to go this way, right? Am I right, boys and girls? Am I right? Just like that. Lazio Ultra, thank you. Lazio Ultra, sorry. Thank you for that follow. All right, so let's get this prepped for build. We already prepped the plate. All right, we got its stuff on. So it's foam, right? So it could be stretched a little bit one way or the other or whatever. All right, here we go. We get a few switches in. This is gonna be an interesting build, I think, sound-wise. Okay, give me that spudger. So I'm using this little spudger to kind of push the foam out of the way so that I can get these switches pushed in so they don't crush the foam, because what I ultimately want is for everything to actually just be lined up right. If I have to push stuff into place, that's fine too. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to chat for a sec. Split BS is the enlightened way. Ooh, BBB. Okay. Okay. Shots fired. Shots fired. Just messing with you, man. What color is the Polaris? This one is black. So it's the Henry Ford. The Henry Ford board. That Henry Ford board, though. Mm-hmm. 7. What's the 7? I told him to make a Baka 65% and he threatened to ban you. Nice, caffeinated connoisseur. That's freaking wonderful. I should ask him the same. I mean, I know he loves 65. It's like his favorite layout. Thanks for the raid, guys. So we're doing stepped caps on this bad boy. Come on. Perfect, man. This is actually going really well. Usually the foam in between, by the way, I don't know if any of you guys have built boards like this, but usually the foam that goes between the PCB and the plate is actually a giant pain in the ass and makes just this whole thing take a lot longer. But in this case, it's not really. It's going pretty well. That is not centered. That's annoying. Okay. What type of foam is it? It feels like a neoprene, like a really not very dense neoprene. Resist. Thank you so much for that follow. Appreciate that. I do. Man, so good. It even says, you know, okay, I will say this again. Silk screening the bottom row to tell me where the 125s and the 1s and the 15s are. So good. So good. Like, why not just do this on every board? You might as well. I should know by now that for standard anti-bottom row, they always line up to the right. But, you know. DD Decline, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. I really, really do. I really, really do. And I think that follows through. Like, it's just the rightmost or leftmost, depending on the side of board you're on, all around. Pretty sure it is. It is. Cool. Well, that just makes it easy, right? Because now I don't have to test fit literally every bottom row cap and the whole deal. But that, my friends, is worth being anchored down. You never got a notification from me going live, Befuddled Spork? Are you following on Twitter? That would definitely be the easiest way. How thick can foam be for in between to be inflated? I don't know what the thickness of this is, but I can tell you what the spacing is. So you can actually look up the dimensions of a switch, like a drawing, and the distance between the bottom lip and the top and the bottom of the actual thing. The bottom of the actual switch is how far, but this says 4.72, but this is a PCB that's a little thinner than normal. I think it is 5 millimeters exactly, if I'm not mistaken. Weird, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I really, really am. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to their instructions because they had like all sorts of fucking instructions. Yep, snap switches into the, yeah, okay, basically it's all of that. Oh, this actually says to do the foam, see if you like it more or less. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do it with this because, well, customer didn't say don't do it with it, and honestly, it's gonna be nice. I'm sure. I am more of a not foam guy, so if it were my board, I would not do it that way. But I'm definitely not gonna, unless the customer asked for it, do it that way. Okay, so. So here we go. Now the only thing we are gonna do with this is because it's I don't know. We're gonna test it like this. We are gonna actually test this just a tiny little bit because I'm curious. Okay, I like it. I'll move this off to the side. We're gonna pop this back out of here. Top case is not required. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set our anchors first. We're gonna we put way more in there than we needed to, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna fire up our iron. This is why having a good iron is important, because it's ready already. Like at temp, ready to solder. Okay. Because there's foam in here, what I'm doing is I'm pressing down and then I'm hitting that foam. And this was actually a mistake to do it this way. What we should have been doing is testing these PCD stabilizers out. We're just gonna pull black on white, or white on black out as our test set. Right, because what I really want to know is, do these actuate just fine? And I think they do. They seem fine. Perfect. ADS 200 flex. I know, right? Subtly flexing the Herman Miller by leaving your chair. I see. Yes, yes. That's the one. I love that you caught that, buddy. Joking. We're gonna set all that off. These obviously actuate just fine. What up, disco? Yeah, what do you guys solder with? What's your guys' iron of choice? Nice. ADS 200, man. It's the one. This is Kester. Are you in Europe? This is Kester 6040, but similar. Basically the same stuff. Basically. FX888D, but you've been a great salesman for the ADS 200. Hey man, I am not trying to sell anyone on any particular thing. For me, it's just, it basically comes down to this. I want an iron that heats up really fast and can maintain temp, even if I want to solder fast. We don't solder fast a lot on my stream, but occasionally we do. and I just want it to have really good thermal stability on the tip. I have been threatening the Max on Deck guys with a race one day. A build race. And I think it'll happen sometime soon. And then, you know, then this thing might come in handy for soldering fast. Am I right? Am I right? It is a great iron. The 888 is not a terrible iron. It's just, by today's standards, like, you can get really good irons. Okay, cool. Let's throw the rest of the switches in. I'm not even gonna worry about anchoring the rest of those. It's a solid plate. We're gonna get it in. The shape itself, yeah. So the tip to grip distance is like, and ergonomics of an iron are more important than I ever thought before I got one that was ergonomic. Like the TS100 is great, right? But it's not ergonomic at all. But that's fine, because if you're not soldering all the time, what do you care? What do you care? If you're soldering like all day or a day, or a lot, then you probably care. But the Pace just has a really ergonomic handle. There are other options that have really ergonomic handles, like the JBCs and stuff. You know, if you want to drop like 2 G's on a soldering iron. I was so close to trying, like, to just doing it, and I was like, this is a fucking irresponsible decision. Like, I don't need a $2,000 soldering iron. And that's the price of like a really cheap used car, or near enough. Booze must be involved with this, I feel. With the race? Oh wow, okay, that might be a little intense. Be an awesome stream. Build the same board. Yeah, no. So we were literally discussing it. I'm not gonna give away too many things, but we were discussing a through-hole build with all the fixins. We had a specific one in mind that I think is relevant to what our content is about. Oh, did they? Okay. Good for them. Yeah, I don't think it's actually that big of a deal. I don't think anyone would be mad. We were talking about doing a practice 60. We're actually, I think, talking about initially about doing a practice 65, but I'm good with whatevs. Either one of those is pretty good and pretty relevant. It'll definitely happen at some point. So I'm just rope-a-doping, right? I take forever to do my builds, and like, now I'm gonna have to race them. I don't particularly like the Hakko 888. I don't hate the Hakko 888. I think it's a great iron, but it's a great iron that is designed. It's a great iron that doesn't have a 2000s or at least 2010s plus design. So what it loses is the modern, really good modern irons have a direct heating element. So I'll show you. This is what a replacement tip for my iron looks like. The heating element is there, and so is the thermocouple, and it sends that information back to here. the 888 has a ceramic heating element and the tip slips over it, and then a metal ring locks it in place. Well, a metal collar and ring. And the problem with that is that the sensor can't keep accurate track of what the actual tip temperature is, and when it tries to turn on and off, it can't heat the tip quickly because of that conductivity barrier. So in the end, what you get is just less temperature stability on the tip. Also, you get less rapidity in terms of how fast it heats up, or how fast it can heat up. Like if you attach it to a giant thermal load, like let's say I was trying to solder something to this has a massive, like huge thermal mass, right? Like there'd be no way to keep up with that unless I just heated the tip up super hot to begin with, so that the smaller thermal mass of this would be able to still meet the melting point of the solder. Also, the 888 is 100, is it 60 watts or 65 watts? This iron is 115 watts. So it also has the ability to maintain those temperatures correctly better, just because it's more powerful. So all of those things combined definitely make it superior. Now, it does cost more. But that's why I said, I think if you're doing a couple solder jobs here and there, you get a TS100, because the TS100 is cheaper and it has all of these same advantages. The only difference is the tip to grip distance isn't super short like this, and it's not that ergonomic. So that's the deal. Challenge them on 24-hour of their. I mean, I did talk about that with them already. I don't know if we're going to be doing that specific activity on their 24-hour stream though. I am definitely going to join in and talk to them, be on their stream. I mean, assuming they still want me to. I couldn't see why that wouldn't be the case. They are legitimately some of my favorite people in the keyboard community to hang out with. They're fun people. They really, really are. So get an ADS 200. This isn't a fancy solder mat. Are you calling me a bougie bitch? You like it? So here's the thing. I think a lot of people in the regular world, maybe not a lot, but some people in the regular world, if you never knew me or you never talked to me or never sat down to have a conversation, might think I'm into flexing things or I'm an elitist or something. But it's not that I'm an elitist, actually. And if you know me or you watch my content much, I think you get to know that. It's really just that I'm an enthusiast with basically every hobby that I actually get into. So I get deep enough into it that I like want the right things in that hobby. And it turns out those tend to be, you know, the things that the elitists target also. But not always. Sometimes you have brand names that, like, are really popular but aren't actually that great, or are just meh. Okay. Yep. Confirmed. I think you guys know most of that about me. Don't forget Kester Solder, Weehaw Drivers, Milwaukee Power Tools. What else did we talk about tonight? That would be flexy things. Oh, Go XLR, Sure SM7B. I like the SM7B. I'm not sure I would do it again. I don't regret buying it, but at the same time, I think a Rode Pod mic probably would have been just as good. The Go XLR I absolutely would do again. Though I would probably get the Go XLR Mini instead of the full size. Stream Deck. I would use the bigger Stream Deck, not the smaller one. But I bought when only the smaller one existed. $77 viewers. Oh yeah, good for me. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Probably don't use the Chinese $20 light strips. Yeah, Philips Hue strips. I don't have Philips Hue strips. I actually, that desk does have LED strip lighting under it, and they are totally the cheap Chinese ones. And let me tell you why, because they're just as good. That other one is just brand flex. It's not actually better. If it isn't worth it, it isn't worth it, right? Nice things are worth it if you've got the mortgage sorted and enough for a rainy day. Agreed. Agreed. Oof. Talk about a rainy day. I have septic service coming out to look at my system tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure that I need a new leach field. Gonna be expensivo. I'm not 100% sure. They're like, we have some techniques to potentially salvage it. And I was like, I'm all for it, but the last time I had it serviced, we believed that it would probably need to be replaced at some point soon. And it's lasted longer than I expected it to. So they were like, well, we'll take a look. So that's what I get to do tomorrow. So over the last, well, yesterday I dug the lids up. Ugh. I'm also gonna get risers installed, I think, in them, so I never have to dig that shit up again, because it's a pain in the ass to dig them up. But it's easy to just like lift the lid. Hey sir, how are you? How are you doing today? Barely seeing? Thank you so much for the follow, man. Took me a second with your name, but I like it actually. All the lights still come on. Great. Hope it breaks my way. I do too, man. I really do. But if it doesn't, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, I guess. We don't expect caps lock to work because it's a momentary on function layer switch. Okay, and then we can test this one. Should be home or something. Yeah, okay. So it does work. Cool. So that is together. What is this one? We installed Via on this when we started, and I'm really curious to know what this is. Okay, so we're using a different layout than they are. So design, tester. Oh, I didn't even realize I had this open. Layouts. It's not split. Answer. Bottom row is not singing. Unified? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, cool. So now we can minimize that goodness. Oh, I didn't even see. This is why I need the bigger Stream Deck, because I had to like turn it off here. But I can do switch hitter here. I didn't realize I didn't have it up, but that's okay. Kind of watch it. This should be home, which it was, because that was a function layer. Okay, so the mapping isn't great, but all of those work. All right. Any prime keyboard T1 switches the real deal? To my knowledge, they are. I'm not 100% that these T1s are the real deal. They came in
Priority clearance recognition.
these boxes. Nine Walker, thank you so much for gifting that sub, those two subs to Nine Walker and Rob 27 Shred.
Recognition Alpha 1.
Wait, yeah, okay. Whew. Yeah, the text doesn't read right, but thank you so much for gifting those two. Swing Cat, thank you so much for following the channel. I appreciate that. By the way, if yes, Old Kirk, thank you. That's so yeah. So my notifications say Old Kirk gifted two tier 1 subs. Apparently the text just reads wrong there, and I'm sorry about that. Thank you though, man. Dead Guy, thanks for that follow. Anybody who isn't already following, you know, or subbed or whatever, consider going up into this bar up here and giving a follow, and then jump on to the rest of my socials. And if you want to keep in touch, YouTube is great. Go ahead and sub there. Follow on Instagram, follow on Twitter, and you'll get my notifications. So this is what these came in. So it's very possible they weren't. I don't know. But yeah, it came in a bunch of these boxes. Actually, these and some that were considerably bigger. So that one held 10, the other boxes held 20 at a time. Old Kirk still trying to get a touch. You're still trying to get a wireless Air 58. You recently got koalas. Ooh, how are those? Should sell me yours. No pressure. It's not peer pressure. It's just your turn. Some of your koalas. All right, I'm gonna set this stuff off to the side. You guys think about what key set you want on here. I'm gonna give you a couple options, right? I'm gonna give you 8008 as an option. I'm gonna give you GMK minimal as an option. I'm gonna give you white on black. So don't worry, my mod's gonna post up he's gonna post something up for you guys. So minimal, 8008, minimal 8008, white on black, and GMK Eclipse. I'm just trying to think of things that I know aren't on a board already. I'm trying to give you guys some options. AF Snakes, thank you, and good morning wherever it is that you're at. It's not morning to me, but thank you. Where are these pieces of foam from? KBD fans. These came with the board. I'm pretty sure they sold a kit like they did with the KBD 8X Mark II. I'm not 100% sure though. Thanks. Dr. Huru and Dead Guy 1, did I get you already? Dr. Huru and Dead Guy 1, thank you guys so much for those follows. I really do appreciate it. Disco, white on black, man. That's my favorite set. Sash people don't seem to have gotten them much. They're like Zeal version of Holy Panda. No pre-travel, high bump, or super smooth. Great sound. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Koalas. Oh yeah, koalas. I didn't get any koalas myself, but I'm confident that I will be building with some koalas. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna populate this thing in there. And of course, where these LEDs line up doesn't matter at all. We just want it to be pretty uniform. It doesn't matter because, well, you can't see them anyway. So, are you there, Tiny Shiny Crumb? And are you making... do you have any snare drums nearby? Is it just me, or do I hear a snake drum-like sound whenever you talk into the mic? Do you? Are you hearing like a S sound? Does my De-Esser need to be turned up? I did mess with the sound a little bit, so it's possible the De-Esser needs to be cranked just a little bit more. Let me know if that helped a little bit. If it didn't, I can turn it up a little more. I can actually turn it up a lot more, but I don't want to mess up the sound either. No worse. No comma worse. Like it is worse now. Okay, what about now? Now it should definitely not be worse. I think it should not be worse. Is it the sound? Oh, there is. Okay, yeah, let me turn it back down. So this is where my De-Esser was before. There is actually a fan and an air conditioner going on. This is much better now, meaning it's okay. I got it. Watch. I got this. There should be way less background sound now. You should hear a little bit because there's still a computer going on. What mic do I use? I use a Shure SM7B. It's right here. Oh, it's not in frame there. Okay, weird. Yeah, I mean it's about 14 inches from my face. It could be closer. It could be right here, and then it'll probably be a little bit louder for you guys. MaxioBiz, thank you so much for that follow. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, okay. There we go. Keycap sets. Everybody go ahead and cast your vote. See what you guys want. Don't worry, I'm gonna turn the gate off when it's time to listen to this board. So you guys will hear all of the background sound going on in here right now. Yeah, I mean, so I have like an extra air conditioner, like a portable air conditioner in that bathroom right there with its vents going out the window so that I get extra cooling in this room. White on black and minimal alphas. I mean, that would be one way to do it. I also have GMK what's it called? Oh my god. The tuxedo of keycap sets, man. I have GMK monochrome. Zatari, thank you so much for that sub, that tier 1 sub. I appreciate that a lot. I really, really do. 72 Atari. That's what I meant to say. I really, really like that. Thank you. No. Ah. Okay, well, I guess I get to look for a screw now. No, I don't. On the seat. I thought that I caught it at first. Forgot this before Bang Lube. Do I have a lube one? Oh, 8008. Yeah, I forgot that I even put that in there. Good audio generally sucks in the summer because of the AC and fans. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. Like, it was 94 degrees here today, I think. I hate the summer. I wanted to just stay winter where I'm at always, because it actually gets cold. Okay, so right now we are tied. 7 votes each, GMK minimal and GMK white on black. This is a black board, boys and girls. Looks like it's going to be black and white one way or another. Half and half. Okay, GMK minimal just took it. One more vote, 8008. Let's go. Nice. Checker style, just interleave them. All right. Oh, minimal just took a second vote ahead. All right, I guess we're doing minimal, boys and girls. That's what we doing. Half and half. We're not gonna do half and half. Meaning it's, can I turn the AC back on? It was the other setting that made a big difference. Hiss is gone. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna turn it back on. Yeah, I mean, I did a bit to try and make it muted out, and it's not really that loud in here. So my S's should sound really hard right now. The Sibilants should be real. This is where the Sibilants, where the De-Esser was set to avoid Sibilants before. So my S's should sound a lot softer. This is as high as the De-Esser goes, so my S's should be really soft right now. I don't know if you guys got that, but where am I that it's 90 plus degrees? Southern California in the desert. All right, so it looks like GMK Minimal takes it by a bit. Night, y'all gotta hit it. Take it easy, 72 Atari. Thanks again for that sub. I do appreciate it. And please come back and join. Always think twice about your... Let this be a lesson. Always think twice about your choices. What does that mean? Can we get you a snake impersonation so we can fully test? Yeah, right. So did the hissy sound get better or worse? Is it like really bad right now? I can reset all of it and just turn the De-Esser on. Ooh, really? Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what the possible S could be. All right. Unless it's lo-fi and it's on purpose. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the clipping in the background music, I think, is intentional. It's possible you have your compressor turned on. So Twitch does have a compressor feature now. My voice is already compressed. You might want to check to see if you have it turned on. So if you go to my stream, right, and you maximize that, next to the mute or unmute, to the left side of the volume bar, there's an audio compressor. So that should give you some kind of indication. Yay, minimal, I know. Yeah, I'll go back and watch the VOD. I mean, I think that's the best I can do now. Okay. I have put this on boards so few times. I'm kind of excited to put it on this board right now. Yeah, so the dual compressor effect can be really disconcerting too. Sounds really awkward to me, usually when it's like that. Like that idea. Use an accent white on black enter, please. Okay. I will go grab that in a second. Should be at the top of that stack, so it should be straightforward. So I I don't know, I shipped off that monster gear the other day. I really like that board. I'm really kind of sad that like I don't have one, because TSC is actually the one who showed it to me the very first time, and I was like, man, I should buy one of these. Like, these are really inexpensive, but I was like, would have been a good idea. Turns out. Edible pizza? What's that? Edible case? Yeah. Needs pizza. You had good ideas. Like a great mod. And then I didn't follow. And now I regret. No, I don't regret. The Monster Gear XOV2. I think you're the one who showed it to me first, and I was like, ooh, I should get one of these, but then I didn't get one, and I actually liked it. I thought it was a great board. Don't worry though, I have another one to build. Well, so the one that I had was B stock, so I don't know if the A stock materials, if the quality control is better, but I'm going off of an assumption that it is better, and if it is better, then it is clearly a decent board. Like if it's got good QC. It seemed nice to me for what it was, right? I mean, first of all, there was no win keyless option, so I didn't like that. There was no, what else was there about it that I didn't like? Oh, I don't know what software it ran. I don't remember what the other things were. There were some downsides. I criticized it in my VOD, so you guys can go back and watch Sunday's VOD and you'll find it. But I mean, I criticized it for the things I didn't love. Okay. Yeah, proprietary. I think that was part of it. All right, hold on. One moment. Actually, you know what? Okay. So here's my mic. Usually I don't roll with an equalizer on, but I'm going to take a clip of the snipping tool because I'm really curious about, because I set some settings. I'm sure there's a good way to like auto turn off the EQ, because this is the first time I've ever done EQ. EQ, go XLR. And my compressor is turned up a little bit more from where it was too. But I'm going to turn everything back down to zeros. All right, I don't know if you guys can hear now. I don't know if the audio sounds better or worse to you. This is what the audio should have sounded like previous to this stream. This is with no compression on. You shouldn't hear a considerable difference at this point. Okay, but here's the noise gate turning off. So now you hear a bunch of background sound. That much background sound. This is what it sounds like normally. No compressor. I'm thinking about, well, see, I've thought about using RTX voice. The problem is that RTX voice will intentionally mute this out. So I'd have to turn it on and off during stream, and I've thought about that. But okay, here's the background sound with the AC on. Now here's no AC. The sound that you're hearing right now is the capture card. I can't turn that sound off. It has a fan on it and it's loud. Ish. But it doesn't matter. So this is what a typing test will sound like. Now, when I do typing tests, I post-process the typing tests to create a destructive interference wave with that capture card sound that you're hearing in the background. But it's okay. So here we go, right? We're gonna do a typing test now. And this is what typing tests would sound like if you were hearing it basically on one of my YouTube videos of them. Right? So let's before we pull that up, actually, let's pull up Switch Hitter so you guys can hear. Yeah. All right. So typing test. Bad. I'm not doing very well right now, but it almost doesn't matter. So you should be able to hear what the sounds kind of are like right now with the maximum amount of, with nearly the best I can do in terms of audio. Now there is a humidifier going too, which will make a tiny little bit of sound. It's ultrasonic, so you won't hear a lot, but you'll hear the water. But really all the background sound is coming from that capture card. But it's like 50 dB below my voice. So it shouldn't be too bad. All right, now I'm going to turn the gate and all that stuff back on. But hopefully that was enlightening. Hopefully it was enlightening. I'm gonna leave it off actually, because I want to do this, because I want you guys to hear. All right, now I'll turn it all back to normal. All right, that should be a little bit better now. And then I'll turn the compressor back on. It'll sound a little better for the voice. Stuff like that. All right, hopefully the voice sounds good. Hopefully everything sounds pretty great. I hope you guys like the stream. Honestly, I like this board. It looks fantastic. I think it looks fantastic. Yeah, I think we're all taking off stash pretty much right now, but I want to make sure that you guys saw it. Oh, I'm definitely gonna wash my hands. Don't you worry. Have you looked at your hands stash after soldering before? Like when you wash your hands, invariably, even though I wash my hands beforehand, when I wash my hands after, like I see dirty color in the water. Solder gets on your fingers. If you guys are soldering, you need to be washing your hands before you do anything else. For real. Like you can't tell here, but I swear to you, there is dirt on there. Dirty lead grossness on there. Bye, everyone. I'm gonna go in just a minute. I'm gonna raid somebody, but I'm gonna turn my air conditioner back on. Anybody know who's streaming right now? Yeah, before I get off, if you guys aren't already, following, right? Go ahead and do me a favor. If you want to keep in touch or you want to see another stream, go up into this corner up here and go ahead and click that follow button or sub, you know, if that's your thing. I'll always love that. And Critter Vision is probably who I would do if there's no keyboard people going. But also jump over to my other socials and, you know, sub on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. These are ways that we can keep in touch, and I do intend on keeping in touch with as many of you guys as I possibly can. Okay, so I see no other keyboard streamers, and I do see Critter Vision, so we're gonna raid Critter Vision. And I think everybody pretty much likes that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys here again soon. Go ahead and come watch me on Sunday. I stream at 10 a.m. Pacific. So that's what, 1 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays. And if you're in Europe, it's a great time for you guys. And if not, you know, come back on Wednesday nights. You're always welcome here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your viewership and the awesome conversation. All right, guys, take it easy.